All right, hey y'all. I know, very different start from normal. I actually take that as a sign. I'm going to use, this is a 2 decks in one that I've combined. It's a water deck and an earth deck. So this is what we're going to start out with. I'm going to take it as a sign. Whoa, and I just got super lightheaded there. Wow, okay. Righto. This is going to be, y'all, this is going to be a fun reading. Let's get into it. Oh, great. Yep. Right out of the gate. Right out of the gate. Okay. Leave those. Thank you. You start off with the cave. Retreat, time out, slow down. Okay. That's where we are starting out. Take these. Thank you. Deep sea diving, mother of salt waters. Way of the mystic, learn through experiencing depths, passion, wild love, open your heart, let love. Okay. Right out the gate, I'm getting a message here for this collective. I'm getting a message here kind of like this collective is going through a type of rebirthing. This collective is going through this. Yeah, they're showing me like it's almost basically a rebirthing, like a baptismal, but it's not like, it's not religious necessarily. It's just a life rebirthing. And so this collective, you've probably felt like you needed to slow down. You've needed to rest. You've probably been drawn more towards light strength training, yoga, qigong, tai chi, things of that nature. Maybe more meditation. Some of you might have started a meditation practice of sorts. Too many. Some of you might have started a meditation practice of sorts. And then this is opening you up into you diving into this new being, this new identity. You're opening yourself up, you're cracking open. This cave card, they're showing me a really specific image of like, there's actually a few places in the world that are like this. So some of you might have traveled recently as well to a place that is like this. There's one in Vietnam. There's one in Mexico. There's a place like this in Thailand. I was actually in the one in Thailand once. And it's where you go into a cave. And when you're in the cave, there's a body of water that's in the cave. And then you can dive in the cave in this body of water. And when I put these two cards together, that's the vibe I'm getting, is like going into a cave and then diving down into the water here in the cave. And as you're going through this process, and then again, some of you, I feel like this might be like literal travel. You might have traveled to a place where you could do this, whether you partook in this specific experience or event or not. I'm feeling like that trip that you took, or if you have a trip planned coming up, that trip that's coming up is going to really reset you as a person. It's going to change your entire outlook. It's going to change things you want to do. It's going to change what you want to do, what you want to be a part of, how you want to live your life. You're just going to see things in your life from a whole new perspective. When you do that, you then have Mother of the Saltwater coming up, which is all about, this is the card that's giving me these birthing vibes, this like renewal, baptismal type of vibe of like, it's coming, there's just this new energy, like this new wave. I know we just entered Pisces season. At the time that I'm filming this, we just entered Pisces season. It's the end of February. And there's just this feeling that this season is going to be a massive change for this collective. You guys are going to be changing your spiritual outlook. You're going to be changing your mental outlook. Physically, there might be things like cleaning up. I'm hearing vegetarian diet for some of you. Some of you might be vegetarian, or you're transitioning to a vegetarian diet or a more vegetarian clean-based form of eating for some of you. You guys have a lot of knowledge. Like, I feel like this collective is a little bit lost. Like, I feel like on one hand, this collective is a collective that is really present and is really there and is really of the mindset of, I am going through this rebirthing and I want to learn about spirituality and alchemy and psychic abilities and mediumship, yada, yada, yada. But I also feel like because we've got water codes and not forgotten coming up, that you guys already know this. Like, it's information you already know. It's not really new information that you're learning about. It's information that you already are aware of. It's information you already know. So there's this feeling of, you know, especially with water codes coming up, that this is something, these two cards, I'm feeling like your ancestors have your back. And really all you need to do, excuse the dog hair, really all you need to do is to just ask for help, to just ask for your ancestors to guide you, to talk to you. In your dreams, maybe that was the purpose of the dream. Maybe that's how your ancestors are coming through to you, is in your dreams for this collective. In the astral realm, astral projection also is coming through. And deep meditation. I'm hearing specifically deep meditation. Okay, so take from that what you will, but those things are really coming through strong with this collective. I'm just feeling like this collective, there's very much a lost energy. There's kind of this confusion energy that's a little bit present. Let's see if I can get some clarity here. From the time that I turned this camera on, actually, there was definitely this confusion, lost, like quite scattered type energy. This collective, you might also have distraction. I'm saying this as I just realized that I've got like a wood chip that's here. I don't even know how that got infused there, but okay. Anyways, distraction might be important for this collective, right? Being distracted from your goals, distracted from what you're supposed to be doing, easily distracted. Okay, the phone, needing to set better boundaries with things like the phone might be really important for this collective. That might be something you want to take into consideration. But also just being like lightheaded, difficult to focus, difficult to tune in, difficult to keep the routine. I'm hearing it's hard to keep the routine right now for this collective. And you're just really, this collective is just kind of, I want to say you're really struggling, because I wouldn't say it's like a super big struggle, but I would say that there's this offness. Does that make sense? You're just off. You're just not your usual self. Okay. And yeah, I'm getting that like you're not your usual self, and it's not enough that others have really noticed. It's just that you're not yourself. I've got the Courage card coming up. The thing that's standing out to me about this card is that the daisy is coming from the rock. Okay. This collective, I feel like you've had your difficult times and you're working on blooming from your rock bottom. For some of you, you've hit your rock bottom recently. I honestly feel like that's, though, not even a large part of this collective. I honestly feel like that is a minority of you. I think that this collective is not on their rock bottom. I think you have been there probably within the past 3 to 5 years. And you're transitioning out of it. You're starting to bloom like these daisies. This is a daisy, right? Like these flowers that are in here, right? And you see this light that's around it. It's kind of like the flowers like glowing in this light. It actually looks a lot bigger in the camcorder. It looks a lot more yellow. That's kind of what the vibe I'm getting, is that you guys are slowly working on coming out of this kind of dark place, coming out of your cave almost. Yeah, you're coming out of your cave and you're starting to see the light. Not just see the light, but you are the light. You're shining your light more and more and more. I just did short reading, 3 more and you're done. I was told. Righto. There's also this green pea here. Oh, okay. That's just actually a moth. I'm gonna ignore that. Edit that out. Exhaustion. Yeah, that makes sense. If you've had issues with sleep, actually not if, this collective, you've definitely had issues with sleep recently, okay? We've had, basically, actually, I'm getting since the new moon. Since the new moon, there has been difficulties with sleep. That would have been the new moon, the second week of February at the time that I'm filming this. Bottom of the deck. No. Yes. Okay. I was like, I hope so, because I already pulled it. You guys are definitely dealing with exhaustion. This is actually a good representation of where I feel like you guys are. You guys aren't even, you're at a place where you're just kind of done. Okay? Done. A lot of this has to be, you guys have been birthing something new. Oh, look at the moon. You remember how I was talking about how the moon might be affecting your sleep? And I said new moon in particular, that might be significant for some of you. Some of you have probably been trying to work or trying to create something, to birth something new, a new creation. And you're really struggling with that right now. You're really struggling to maintain that creativity, to maintain the schedule, to bring that through. And there's really this message here of like, just hold on to the discipline and the creativity will come. This is an interesting, this card is labeled maturity, but when I look at the card, it's really giving me this creative vibe. Tuning into your creativity, tuning into your most creative self, tuning into looking for creativity in areas you wouldn't expect creativity to show up. That's what I'm getting with this card here. And then we've got totality, like there's completions that are going to be coming. This collective, you really just need to get through this hurdle. You just really need to get through this exhaustion. I feel like by the time the full moon cycle comes through, which at the time that I'm recording this, I think, hold on, let's see if I can actually find that out. The full moon will be the time from the time that I'm recording this, the beginning of March. So today's the 26th of February, and the full moon is around March 3rd. So I feel like that by the beginning of March, there's going to start to be this shift coming, and then by the spring solstice, which I think this year is on the 21st of March, you're going to have something that you can start to feel like you can show. These blockages that you've been experiencing are going to wane away, and you're going to have something that you feel like you can show. But this exhaustion between the new moon and the full moon, that's going to go away with the full moon ending. Some of you, it might also go away with the full moon beginning, but definitely by the full moon ending, this type of exhaustion is going to go away. And then you're going to be able to bring all of these creations, you're going to be able to come kind of full circle and start bringing them to fruition. It's really interesting because as I'm looking at this, it's almost like there's two readings in one here. Like it's like there's this collective that's doing these practical things, but then in the background you're also having like this spiritual awakening and journey. And it might also be why you have the exhaustion coming up, because if you're trying to balance out between these physical expectations of yourself and your business or what you want to grow creatively, whatever this project is to you, or your job or your family or all of the above, and then you're also kind of going through this spiritual rebirth, this spiritual awakening rebirth situation where you're reconnecting to your ancestors and you're astral projecting and you're having these really vivid dreams that you don't know what to do with, and you're trying to meditate and have this type of practice, you're really going to find that this collective, you're going to be exhausted because it's a very much a struggle right now to balance these things out. It's very much a struggle to balance these two characters of yourself out, to even them out so that you can say, okay, well, this is what I need to focus on, and this is what's of importance, and this is where things need to go and need to be. So this reading's feeling like almost really split. Like there's these two versions of yourself that you're trying to balance out, and it's just not working. It's just not balancing out. It's just not doing the thing you want it to do. And this is going to come to a completion. Like, I'm feeling like this is coming to a completion. I'm also hearing that this is more of a validation reading so that you guys understand that you're not alone in this. It's not so much a this is what's going to happen or this is what the outcome is going to be, because they're not really giving me that information at the moment. But it's more of like, you're not the only one going through this. There's a lot of people who are doing and going through something very similar to this right now in varying capacities. And for some reason, there's been a point in this collective's lives where you've probably felt really alone. Like you're the only one doing this. And there's really just this validation from spirit and your ancestors that you're not. You are in physical and divinely. There's a lot of people that are backing you up. And if in physical you're like, well, I don't have anyone that's supporting me, those people, spirit's going to bring them in. 100% spirit's going to bring them in. Spirit's going to bring those people in, and spirit's going to make sure that you have physical people. But you need to be open enough, which is why you're in this in-between state right now. There's definitely this. Sorry, y'all. The camera went out. The battery went out, and I don't really know where it went out at. But what I was just trying to get at as I finished this up, because really I was told this is a pretty short reading, is that this reading is designed to just validate for you that there is help coming, that spirit hasn't forgotten you, that your ancestors have not forgotten you, and that it is going to come to fruition. But just like birthing is a process for a woman to give birth, it is a process to bring things from the mind space into the physical. And there needs to be an understanding that for things to transition from up here in the mind space and then manifest itself in the physical, it doesn't happen with the snap of the fingers. Unfortunately, this is not Harry Potter. I really wish it was sometimes, but unfortunately it's not. And so there's this understanding that you're going to need to allow space and allow time for these creations to manifest, and allow yourself permission and understanding to heal and to slow down and to rest as needed, so that you can have the energy, the proper energy to focus on bringing these ideas to creation. And I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to leave that there. That's, yeah. This collective is definitely in that in-between state right now. There's this like in-between energy between the new moon and the eclipse. And by the way, if this is not during that time period, if you're watching this and you're like, yeah, but it's not the full moon, this will probably be posted closer to the full moon, closest somewhere to the beginning of March. If you're there and you're like, yeah, but it's not that time yet, understand that that's okay. This is not necessarily directly linked to that. That's just astrologically what's somewhat occurring at the moment. This could just be an energy that is also specific to your life at that time that you see this video. So all my videos, I do have the aim that they're going to be timeless, so that people see them when they need to see them as they are transitioning through various stages in their life. And as such, even though I mentioned these astrological times, and even though I mentioned these time periods, the energy that is present is not always directly linked to those time periods if that does not apply to you. Okay, I just want to make that really clear, because every single reading I do is designed to be timeless. And so it's designed that it's not connected to a specific time field. It's designed that when the person who sees the reading sees it, that's when the message is meant to be, whether the astrological things that I am mentioning are occurring during that time or not is somewhat sometimes irrelevant depending on what it is I'm mentioning, and instead it's more regarding the overall message. And on that note, I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, this is definitely this strange energy. I'm going to leave that there though, because they're telling me enough, like, you're done. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye.